As you can probably tell if the sweat is glistening off the top of my forehead, it is hot out here. I believe the feels like today is 105, but I'm in the shade. I'm hoping I can just stay out of the sun and just do a little project, not have to sweat too much. It seems like a big job if you first think about it, because in order to do this project, I have to take a much bigger part off to get to it. But I'm just going to show you real quick what I'm doing, and then I'll just show progress as I move through. So this is the project that I'm looking at right now. This is a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan, and as you can see from the headlights, the driver's side headlight is pretty new, and the passenger side headlight looks like complete garbage. This is the stock headlight. This is the way it came from Dodge. So this is going on 9 years old now, and it's just getting to the point where you really can't see through it at all. And obviously compared to the driver's headlight, there's a difference. The difference is because this side of the vehicle has all been replaced because my wife hit a deer about 4 years ago. So that headlight is only 4 years old and is more than likely an aftermarket headlight anyway. And so I just looked online and found what appeared to be the exact same aftermarket headlight. So when I'm looking at the headlight that I purchased, this is the replacement. So as you can see, it's going to be a lot different. Be able to see the side of the road again, all that kind of stuff. In order to do this job, you can't just take the headlight out. Even though you can see a bolt right here, you can't just take this headlight out from here. What you have to do is you have to completely take the whole bumper down, and so to do that, there's some couple bolts on the top on either side of the grill here, and then you've got these little Christmas trees. If you've worked in the body industry, you know what Christmas trees look like. Little plastic inserts there. There's 3 screws, 1, 2, and then there's one that's actually upside down right here. I'm not even gonna really worry too much if I can't get the auto darkening to auto brightness, whatever, to fix, but there's the other one. So you got to take those 3 out, and then up underneath on the bottom of the bumper there are 3 or 4 more. That's the same thing right there. 1, why can't I find this? 2, so there's 3, 4, so those need to come down. And then you also have to undo the fog lights. So the fog lights are attached, and if you just drop the bumper, those wires are going to get pulled on. So I'm not going to walk through unbolting every single one of these, but I'll just unbolt what's here, get everything off, and then just show the next stage once I get to where it's just the headlight. There's a bracket underneath the headlight here that I also have to take off. Now I'm not sure, but it might be that all of these are 10mm. I know these 2 for sure, so it's probably going to be all 3 on the headlight assembly itself are going to be 10mm. The 2 across the top, probably the one that's facing down under the bumper, are all going to be 10. I don't know, but we'll find out. I think that the ones that are up underneath the headlight, there's a bracket that runs underneath the headlight, and it's got a little wire over it. You got to loop the wire off, take those bolts out, and then that bracket comes off, and that gives you full access. As you can see on the headlight, the new one, there's the one mount that's on the top, and then there's 1, 2 on the bottom. So we've got to get to those 2 bottom bolts, and right now that's what's all covered up. It's back in under here behind the bumper and behind that bracket, so that's what we're going to take apart. I'll just catch back up once I've got everything down and make any note of anything that's caused any kind of trouble getting it taken apart. Thanks for watching, and keep watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. I'd appreciate it. Can't tell you if I look any more sweaty or hot now than I did in the beginning. It's a little bit cooler now, sun's going down, so it's not quite as bad, but just wanted to show you progress here. So I've got the whole bumper off, and so far there was only one thing that I found that I had to undo that I didn't know about before, so I'll just show you that real quick, and then I'll just show you what I have to do left over with the headlight and get the headlight out. But just wanted to show you that the bumper's off. So here's the bumper, and there is a difference between the driver side and the passenger side with the air dam. The air dam's this piece on the bottom. If you notice, there's this actual section right here that's not on the side. It's not cut out. It just doesn't exist on the passenger side. And right there, there's a hole, and that actually has its own little Christmas tree in there. And you need to make sure that you get that Christmas tree out. As you can see, the fog light wiring is undone here. This is just a real simple squeeze. You just squeeze where my thumb is, and that's what opens the little clamp to take that off. So that's not a big deal, but I just left the Christmas tree hanging. That's the one that goes in that hole. That's the extra one. So there were 4 on the bottom, 4 of the Christmas trees on the bottom. These are the 2 bolts at the top of the fender well, 1 on each driver side, passenger side, and then these are the screws, 2 per side, that go in the fender, inside the inside fender well to the back of the bumper. So they go through these little holes right here. There's 2 here, so 2 per side. And then this is just everything just snaps in place on the top parts here. So I got the top part unsnapped, and then this is that bracket that I was telling you about. This piece right here has got these, let's see, what we got, 1, 2, to take that off. You got to get that, I think you have to take that out to get the headlight to come far enough forward. So I'm going to take these 2 and then take this piece off, and then now you can see the bolt for the bottom of the headlight, bolt for the bottom of the headlight, bolt for the top. This whole thing comes out. So we're pretty close to being done. It's not a big job. You know, I got a little chair out and got my little table set up, so I got my tools and stuff that I need. So I got my little Christmas tree puller, and I ended up going with a little shorty little thumb wheel with the Phillips head on it to get between the tire and the fender, to get these 2 screws out, because there wasn't much space and I wasn't going to go turn the vehicle on and get the pressure so that I could turn the wheel one way, take the screws out, turn the wheel the other way, take the 2 screws out. I just used that little shorty. And then all the bolts that come out, these are the 2 that were inside the fender well. They're 10mm, and these are the 2 that were on the top of the grill. They're 10mm. And if I look real quick on this, so that was 10 up top. Yep, they're all 10. So everything comes off with the 10mm, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, once we're done, we'll just pop everything back in place, and once we get the headlight out, I'll get a picture of it back together, and then everything will just be reverse, putting the bumper back in place and getting everything screwed back in. So not a big job, but you know, it, like I said in the beginning of the video, it might kind of scare you because you think you got to take the whole bumper off, but this actually isn't that big of a job. So I'll catch back up when I'm further ahead on the progress. We're all back together again. Now see, the headlights actually kind of match each other again. New headlight, old headlight. You should be able to see again. It's probably important to be able to see up along the side of the road. Don't want to hit a deer, even though we happen to hit it on the other side of the car anyway. But there's the old headlight. So when you take the screws out, the top and then the bottom, the 2 bottom screws, these holes are bigger than the size of the bolt itself that holds this in. So what happens is this adjusts, so the smaller bolt hole is in there, so this can be adjusted. So what you want to do is adjust this so that it's in line with the body on the fender. So I've adjusted it. As you can see, this is not in the center. This is actually, the plastic is actually a little bit higher, so that's what made it so that it would line up with the corner of the fender over here. Your factory bulbs twist out, so you can twist this one and take it out. It fits. That's the amber light. You can take this one and you can't twist it because it's going to hit the plastic, so what you need to do is undo the plug on it first, and then you can twist the bulb out. This one fits into the new, that's the high beam. This one fits fine there. No problems with fitment. This one can twist all the way out. There's plenty of room here. There's also this little one up top. It's just a little tiny Sylvania type, real small bulb. But this little piece needs to come out too. So what I did is I just unplugged it and then twisted it. And then pretty much everything just screws you know, twist right back into place. I didn't have any problems. I've seen some videos where people said they had to like cut the plastic in here to make the holes big enough for the factory light to twist back into place, but that's no problem. So when you reverse, when you take everything off, remember you took the clip off this one, so, and then you unscrewed it, so when you screw it back into the new one, you need to make sure that clip goes in the right direction, clip it back in. The last thing I'm going to do on this is clip the fog lights back in. I got the bracket put back on that was underneath here. I got the headlight put on to where it matches up with the fender over here so that the gap is even all the way down, so that's what you're looking for. I've got the bolts in the top and the screws on the back of the fender in place. I've got all 4 of the Christmas tree clips on the bottom. The 2 Christmas tree clips that are right here on the top did break, so I just replaced them. Just these 2, put these 2 bolts back on either side of the grill, so those are back together. Same on the other side. I got the 2 screws and the 10mm, which is up underneath this way. You want to line up the plastic there, and I've got that 1 Christmas tree that's over on the other side over there, and that bottom corner I've got that Christmas tree back in. As you can see, this is the headlight on the driver's side, and it's not in the center. The bolt is not in the center of this circle either, and that's what makes it so that this lines up real nice. So other than that, like I said, all I've got to do that's left is get rid of this bad boy. And I think this headlight was like $85 with tax, so it's worth it. I can't remember, I looked up OEM and I think it was like $230. Let's say it was like $230 for the OEM headlight from Dodge. So I feel like looking at these 2, they're identical from this headlight to that headlight. All the little details of the plastic and the way the plastic is molded on the inside, and it's got this little hook here and where the corners are and where they come in line, and the little matted stamp on the bottom, and how it's matted here, and it looks like more shiny chrome around the matted part, and even where like this little ovalish shape is, and how it ovals into that black part. Like pretty much everything was identical. I did look at the seal on this because I wanted to make sure that the seal was good before I put it in. I can actually see excess of that RTV silicone gasket maker type stuff. I can see a little bit of excess squished out, so that makes me think that it's a good seal on the headlight. So hopefully it'll last a long time sealed, but hopefully also maybe this plastic will last a little bit longer than the stock plastic did, because I know the passenger side was the factory OEM headlight. The driver side it had already been replaced, so now they look more identical, and everything lines up and is all back together again. So like I said, the next thing is just going down underneath and plugging the wiring harness back onto the fog lights, and that's the end of this job. Like I said, it's not a huge job. I am covered in sweat. That's just temperature and doing all the work outside. I can't even tell where I'm at in the camera right now, so hopefully you're not looking up my nose. But thanks for taking the time to watch. If you have any questions, just post it in the comments. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. Subscriptions are the most important part of my channel, so please subscribe. Thanks for taking the time to watch.